Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. This is another NSFUSA podcast. I have Charles Yamo again. We're discussing Chicago 2023 from the quarterfinals upwards. In the previous episode, we did discuss the group stage. Now we're going to separate. We have separated the boys from the men. We've separated the parachute players from the fitted players. And we also gave a call to action to Boston Eagles to redeem that name and redeem that city's pride and give Oga Ashley befitting outing, for next year, whoever the city hosts. So let's go to the quarterfinals now, Charles.
Yeah.
The first quarterfinals, 3 points versus Chicago Gazelle.
Local derby.
Local derby. Chicago, 3 points at that point. The suns aligned, the moons aligned, they let them qualify. But at the end, they say, Eli Labasabateni.
CEO say, the CEO of 3 Points say, we rig them so that the two Chicago teams go play each other for quarterfinal. I say, I want to rig them. The draws are the draws. One thing about a team like Gazelle, the reason why I didn't want me to qualify from that group, so, was that a dangerous team, when you get chance to cut their neck and chop their head off, you go chop them off. If you let them leave, they are going all the way. As soon as I saw that LA allowed them equalize and win that game, I say, Gazette they go final. That's just the way it's written in the books. And the way they all easily, comfortably defeated 3 points. No sweats. I don't even sure they sweat for that match. I'm not even sure. Because Breeze still did blow that time.
Yeah. I watched the game. I think I'm just thinking in my head right now, the 3 points coach at the hotel, they must have said, oh boy, they did not believe they topped the group. So they said, oh boy, the way it be, they told some players will get match on Sunday. Some people don't believe. So they said, well, we'll just come. We don't give our best. We have done what we can do. So I believe
they don't already outperform their own expectations. They were just happy to be there.
Yeah, she was excited even coming on Sunday. Typically, by Saturday 2 o'clock, she is back at home, relaxing. So
happy hour.
He was happy. He said, we'll get game on Sunday. He was happy coming in and relaxing. They were happy coming in. But they gave Chicago, the moment I know Chicago at group stage will be different from Chicago at
knockouts.
Their experience, knockout stage. Yes. And there was no way, it was a David versus Goliath match. There was no way 3 points, no matter the Babalawo they went to, there was nothing that would have saved 3 points from that Chicago game. They tried. And
they're just happy. They've punched above their weights. They have done a lot more than anybody thought that they were going to do. Asking them to beat Chicago Gazelle was asking them for a step too far for them.
Yeah.
So as they do, they finish the group stage unbeaten. They take their 3-1, put it in their pocket and say, see you next year. When I try, see you, I hail you. You guys were awesome.
And then try. And Indigo, we're going to come to this game. But calling Stars versus Invisible Eagles. That was the Houston
Texas Derby.
That match, I said, it was too close to call. As a neutral pundit.
It was too close to call for you. Everybody else knew that Colin Stars was coming there and whooping that ass, man. Now let you know if you talk and come out. You self, that's why you say it's too close to call. You don't want to say your soldiers are going to war to go and lose. You don't want to say that. But there was nothing on the on the horizon that suggested that Invisible was going to be able to compete with Colin Stars. No, if you like, go carry Messi, come play for them. Colin Stars are your senior brother. It happens in SLN, happens in Texas Challenge, and it will happen in national.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Let me
put your house on it.
Let me bust your bubble.
Buster.
The first half
story
was 0-0. The
In
second
fact,
half,
you will
the
miss
second,
penalty now.
the second half, Invincible had a penalty to take the game 1-0. They missed it.
Yes, now because
Imagine,
because they be your senior brother. You don't want to believe say you go score 1-0 against your senior brother. You had to miss the penalty. You had
Charlie,
to miss. Senior brother, they let you hang around.
no, Charlie, trust me, believe me, I'm a neutral. I'm a neutral
Oh
pundit,
my
right?
God! Oh my God!
And that game, the moment Invisible missed that penalty, their heads were down.
Because
Psychologically,
normal service is about to resume. And that's why your heads were down. As soon as I missed the penalty, you people knew. I saw as soon as the penalty was missed, 30 seconds later, it was 1-0. Yes or no?
Yeah, that was true. That was true.
Yes,
That was true.
as soon as they missed the penalty, he put the ball in play, back. Probably George go score for the. I think it was George. Boom, 1-0. Game over. They scored the second consolation to give you a respectable 2-0 defeat. Shake your hands. Thanks for coming. Pack your load. Get the heck out of here.
But I would say something though.
They say
Calling Stars, they were champions personified. They showed them that game, their class was. They were both class.
I will get to Calling Stars at the end, but go ahead.
They were both class. Invisible came in, they tried. Abubakar Karim was something else. They had
he had an excellent.
They had Rashid Olabi.
Rashid.
That boy. It's like soccer. Soccer was born with some people on their legs. I will put Rashid State and I will let Boston just play it for Boston. Sit them down.
Why? They cannot do it. That is what do you call it? Abinibi. What you about to talk? Abinibi and ability. They don't have the ability to do that.
They say a man cannot give what he doesn't have.
He doesn't have.
Man, Rashid, Ahis, George, they had Razak, they had the
and their goalkeeper.
Their goalkeeper,
where they put fly first class jets come from Honduras with his papa, his agents, and his wife and his 2 children. They were all there watching him.
They were all there watching.
How the guy not go catch penalty?
But that's it again. That's 2 things. Sometimes your players, your fans come and they inspire you. Sometimes they be like Schomburg came with their fans, their family, their wives, and they saw what papa.
Schomburg. I bet we are talking. We are in the knockout stage.
Let me leave that. But that Boston and that Calling Stars team, oh my God, the way those boys play, they tap soccer. I've said it. If teams don't prepare, this Calling Stars team will have this trophy for years and years and years to come. They are well oiled.
I don't want to talk about Calling Stars to the end, but
they are well oiled. They are well grilled. This game, they just put Invisible for battle.
Let's talk about Invisible. Let's talk about Invisible.
Invisible.
And how they got Vincible. Like how Guardiola would say, they became Vincible. The signs were on the wall.
You go ahead with Invisible. You go ahead.
The signs were there. The signs were ominous. When they scraped by that victory against BAFC, I thought it was heroic. So me now in the euphoria of the victory for Invisible, I go to shake their hand. They say, "Welcome to NSFUSA." Little did I know that the spirit of loserness was still in their body. When I watched the game against Colin SC, I could see Colin was just taking it easy at the last group game. They were just taking it easy, and Invisible, they were trying hard. Colin just got their draw that they wanted, and boom. When I saw the pairing that they were meeting Calling Stars, I was looking for, I would bet my house, I would bet my father's house, I would bet my children's school fees, everything that Calling Stars was going to beat Invisible Eagles. You not get how they wanted to do them. Buchi, you are a very good organizer. Murph, they try for coaching. CJ, I cut hand for now. But you are not cut out yet to be among the big boys in the national level. Invincible became Vincible. And they eliminated the competition as predicted by a very comfortable loss. Victories are normally comfortable, but this was a comfortable loss. by Invincible Eagles, and they shook Colin Starr's hand. There was no arguing, there was no fighting. They just go find burrito and Chipotle to feed their Spanish guys after the loss.
Charlie.
Let's move on.
Wow. Invisible Eagles reps watching. You've heard Charles Yamo coming, and the only way you can avenge this is the next Texas challenge.
I'm a neutral pundit. I'm just coming from that perspective.
Oh, what is it? They say neutral key there. Well, Invisible, they say you were visible. Invisible was visible, and it was no shaking after the match. You know, they go shot. You say they shook hands, and they say, "Oh, but they look eyeball to eyeball." They say, "Well, you try."
No.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
The exchange, you see. Thank you.
Don't forget the burrito part. They go buy tacos and burritos for their players.
I agree. So the next game was Dallas versus Atlanta. That game, I predicted that a well-rested Atlanta team will beat Dallas Green Eagles. But I also knew that the goalkeeper that Dallas brought in was a game changer. Replacing Akpeyi that you had before, already the boys were going to go die for that goalkeeper. He was a wonderful goalkeeper, and that game, except the last skirmish that happened at the end, we shouldn't, magnify that. We wouldn't tolerate that in NSFUSA tournament, the disciplinary issues from the Atlanta team. Hopefully they change course and get better, but it was a end-to-end game. You watched that game.
Yes.
Tell me.
Okay. Dallas, I'm going to go into tactics right now. I don't want coach of Dallas, no verse for me. Dallas was dominating teams with one thing, pressure. The way they pressured you on the ball, they were so fast to close down on teams. They were causing so many turnovers, and they were creating chances off of their turnovers and off of the set piece long throwing. Those were the two key things for Dallas. When Dallas met Atlanta, Atlanta was tall, big, and strong, and they could move the ball. So all that pressure that they were pressuring teams to create turnovers, work against Atlanta. They were, anytime 50-50, Dallas could bounce, go to that side, Atlanta will control the ball. So effectively, Dallas's strength was neutralized, but Dallas was also very strong defensively as well. So they were canceling each other out. And I kept telling anybody who will listen, I say, whoever scores first is going to win this game. This game is not going to have more than one goal, or it's 0-0 and it's going into penalty. And if it goes into penalty, Dallas has a goalkeeper, and Dallas will make it to penalty. Dallas had a corner kick. It was like the second or third in a row. The coach kept telling the player, he said, don't play it high, because Dallas was losing all the high balls to them. He said, play him low, just even it out. Just play him low like this. The player looked at him, nodded. The guy played it low like this. They scored 1-0. Now let's touch on I know that we don't want to touch about the controversy, but it's good that we explain what happened for the disallowed goal for Atlanta, because everybody was shocked in a way that the goal was disallowed, the equalizer that Atlanta had.
Go ahead.
Because the person who actually scored the goal was not offside. So when the ref made the call for offside for that goal, everybody assumed that the ref was saying the goal scorer was offside. But because of the chaos, he never had a chance to explain. The person who was actually offside was an attacker who was interfering with play by obstructing the Dallas defender from defending that ball. So when that attacker obstructed the Dallas defender, the Atlanta goal scorer ran from an onside position and scored the goal. But because the person in an offside position obstructed that defender, the goal was ruled offside. But everybody saw the runner come from onside to score. So when they saw the offside flag, everybody was confused, like, how can he be offside? But we have good refs. Unfortunately, I don't want to demean any of the refs, so we don't do before. Most of the refs that we've had in the past, they probably won't make that call. because they probably wouldn't see it. All they'll probably be looking at is the person who came in to score and he's onside, so it's a goal. But we had higher level referees. Even me, there were sometimes I would say, this person are offside now, but the rest would not raise their flag until that person actually touches the ball. So calls what would they see for TV
was happening
at NSFUSA. Not any Sunday call. It's just unfortunate that there was not that understanding at that point in time, and it caused the Atlanta the Atlanta supporters to raise their temperature. The Atlanta players themselves, they were well behaved. They were telling their supporters to calm down, to stop harassing the ref, blah blah blah. But the supporters, what they did was not good. But that was a good game. It was a good game. It's just unfortunate that it was marred by that incident.
Wonderful. Again, I didn't expect Dallas to come to Atlanta. As you said, they came in with a drunkard tournament. You know, we had expectations.
They were good. That team on Sunday morning, that quarterfinal, if they had made it past that quarterfinal, they were going to the final. They were going to the final. They were good. They were a good
team.
Yes.
Well, they got stopped in the quarterfinals. So let's go to the last group game, the last quarterfinals. This was a quarterfinals that we all thought that, if the truth be told, this was we were telling Indigo, not even dress up, come play, because Colin FC was the score I saw. I can't even put words together. That was the most star-studded team I've seen in an NSFUSA tournament. And the way they lost that game 2-1 to Indigo was, it made me, it tore out all the bets, all the Naira bets. It didn't scatter everything. So I want you to, if you want to go into that game,
I tell you, two things surprised. I have two big disappointments in this tournament. Very big disappointments. The first one, we talked about in the last one, that was BAFC completely shitting to bed in the group stage. The second one is this game, Indigo Colin FC. This was a game I would have been homeless by now. It was another, another put your house on the outcome. Yes, Indigo played 2-2 with Colin Stars, but when Colin Stars put their stars on the pitch, they dominated Indigo. So Colin FC looked like they had the stars. I wasn't even bothered about asking about the score of that game. It was just the question that I was asking was, what time Dallas they play Colin FC? That was the question. Only to be told, no, not be Colin FC or Indigo. How is that? How is that possible? I haven't had the chance to sit down with Mr. Dapo to ask him what happened with his boys, but what he explained to me briefly when we chatted was they did all the playing, Indigo did all the scoring. As I heard that one, I just shake my guy hand. I've heard that a million times before, but
experience.
I don't know about that, but anyway, we shall see. But I was shocked. I didn't watch the game. I don't know, how that happened, but they scored twice. He said they had two attacks, two shots on goal, 2 goals. And Colin FC, they peppered them, and they only had 1 goal to show for it. It did happen, Sha, but I didn't expect it. So all that first class private jets, you get your own bag, you get your own track suit, you get your own room, and then their food. If you see Colin FC food for hotel, myself, I go follow them chop food. I'm telling you,
they're back in with complimentary fish.
I'm telling you, that food where that for that food. I say, so after he did all those ones, no pass quarterfinal. How is that possible? Then he can't tell me, say, so he's sending the boys back to the hotel. Maybe they go freshen up. I say, you are a nice guy. I for punish all of them. Maybe they stay here. Maybe they watch semi-final. Maybe they watch final.
That really, she went all in. To me personally, I think experience from the coaching crew, experience from the players themselves.
Indigo
There's
has
a
no
big-
Indigo has no experience
no,
in that. So
I agree with you. But sometimes when you have a combination of so many talented players,
how to manage them?
it's hard to manage. It's hard to, there are some players I wouldn't say that I saw on the bench at Calling Stars. These are players that went all the way to the finals with New York the previous year. They were with Calling Stars this year. And I
Calling
saw
Stars
him on
or
the bench.
Calling Stars or Calling
FC,
FC.
sorry. Calling
Yeah.
FC, sorry. And I saw him on the bench. I'm like, what is this dude doing on the bench? This is a guy that knows how to win. And you're putting him on the bench? No. You start players like that. And
So now you can sabi coach. Now you can
huh?
sabi pass. You sabi pass Calling FC. You know the dynamics of what they happen for there.
So the
For why
moment I
that player,
see, the moment
you know
I
whether
see
that player, get injury.
no
Eh?
injury, the moment I see that player, I know what was going on. The player, I go meet him. I meet him. I just the thing about it was, it's their first time calling FC.
It's not.
No, I mean the way that with Dakbo coming in now is their first time. The way he packaged them, again, they looked really good, complimentary. Those guys be like
He did his part.
Miami. They did like Miami Beach.
He did his part off the field. The players not deliver on the field.
On the field. So that's not they as a matter of fact, they owe Dakbo.
Yes.
They owe him big time because they were the most well-managed team there. They were organized. You needed to see their bench. And the thing about their team was this. You go to some teams, even Calling Stars, some players, they complain, why you give me number 62? I'm a big-time player. Why would be number 62? Some players, I watch all those things. When other players score, they're not happy. They're like, they keep their faith because they want to play. But with Calling FC, you could see they came prepared. And even for their last group game, you said they played their second, third straight team against Invisible Eagles. I was wondering, are they trying to go play Calling Stars? Like they're supposed to avoid them. I said these guys were like, oh boy, they say all die and die. Bring Calling Stars, come, we'll play. They didn't care about any team. They wanted to go play. So I believe this is a team for next year. I think they will be good. That ball. Go back, maybe this time, carry them go Miami, maybe them go relax first, massage their body, then bring them come national. So thank you, Dakbo. You tried, you did your best. This team big past you. Your head never you don't have
not be Indigo supposed to beat them.
Come on, them. I know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Their head, no oil inside. So we go to the semi-finals. That was let's go to the first semi-finals. Dallas called Indigo into the room. Feel like that. They bring the king, they put Pepper inside. They took Indigo's pants down, make sure they didn't have no paper book on top. And they give them 1, 2, 3, 4. And they told them away, they said, go and sin no more.
No more. You know,
that was a white wash beating. They beat them real well.
Indigo, they had already done good to get that far, in their first time for this tournament. Somebody had to show them what this tournament was really about. Because if you just come now, just carry your young team from Indiana, drive 4 hours, come Chicago, beat everybody, carry the trophy, they go back. How?
No.
How? It doesn't happen now. Where teams don't they suffer to reach final for 13 years, they never reach. You could just come. You just come, take Uber from Indiana, come carry trophy, go back. It doesn't work like that. That 4-0 to Indigo was from NSFUSA to Indiana. Now this is our tournament. This our tournament is hard. They were very angry though. I'll say this. They were very angry at the referee at the end of the game because the first 2 goals that Dallas scored were 2 clear-cut penalties. In fact,
it was penalty. Yeah.
The second penalty, the keeper supposed to have if it was last year's rules, the keeper should have a red card. But FIFA said don't punish teams twice anymore. Don't give red and penalty at the same time. So the keeper got a yellow. But in their mind, it's just like you gave 2 penalties against us. It don't matter whether person use hand, catch the ball, throw out for it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So what their mind, I say, how you give 2 penalties against us for semi-final?
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is 2-0 doesn't mean the game is over. At 2-0, you don't stop playing. They stopped playing. And like I said about Dallas coming, they hunt in packs. They just hunt you in packs. So before you can say, raise your head and say you want pass ball, they are coming in droves. So Dallas just kept coming at them. And then the 4th goal was one of the best goals of the tournament. Talk about transition play and one-on-one moves. And I beg, it was a beautiful semi-final. Indigo, not try. But you got the beating that you deserve for this kind of tournament.
Talk about the number 7, the right guy. That guy was the Venezuela boy.
Oh, Miguel.
That boy was.
Ooh, he was a ton.
That boy played
Jose Calito, yeah.
Jose play. I don't know where you guys got him from, but that boy was good. He was good.
Man. He was he's petite in nature, and this tournament is very physical. So he gets away from that by being very quick. Very, very quick. He moves very quickly and he can come in central, he can play wide. The boy good. When I leave story, the boy was very good, man.
He was good. He was good. He was a ton for Indigo. Even Kuruma.
Joseph,
he was good too. And you have a group of young players, right? You're building with young players. So
it started last year. A lot of the young guys who came this year were there last year, were part of our second team. And yes, last year I was telling you, I said we're just bringing them to give them a taste of NSFUSA experience, and by the time they come back, they will be more battle tested. And we moved some of those guys. There were more who were supposed to come, but logistics. We moved them to the first team this year, and then they played, and then we incorporated some more young boys in the Dallas region to give them that experience as well. So the same thing that you're saying about calling stars, you can say the same thing about Dallas, as long as they keep the core of boys that came for this tournament and continue to play with them. Dallas continue to be a force in the tournament. The stars aligned for them this year as well.
Well, they tried. Dallas tried, although they had the worst jerseys in the tournament.
Don't try and say those jerseys were made by, see that logo where they your shirt, so that same logo, Alpha Sports made that jersey.
And now this logo carry us go Olympic, where Nigerian Olympic Federation not release money, abi.
Now them, they still the old entity now. Well, we don't pay our own bill today. We know they owe them, but Nigerian Olympics they owe them.
But it was good, man. Dallas, I like some of the standout players for me for Dallas. Your goalkeeper, also the defensive midfielder, your captain, Naji. That boy was.
He covers every blade of grass.
You call it Kante, abi?
Now Pogba, what they call him?
Pogba. That boy, he personified what a captain should be.
Yes, he's a fighter.
He's a fighter. He's combat.
He's everywhere. And you know, he's actually about a year now from an ACL injury.
Wow.
You know, prior to that ACL injury, he was even better than he is today. So but he's getting back to his prime, and he's now surrounded by a group of guys who have just as much zeal as him. And then we will not forget the two center backs, especially
I'm going to call the weapon of mass destruction. I was the goalie for Texas Challenge. And I will tell you something. Anytime my players do throwing, a throwing as a goalie is even that kind of long throwing is worse than crossing for goalies. Because the ball is hand for air.
Yes.
With free kicks, it's a quick thing. His hands were, oh boy, that boy.
They say LA coach, anytime where the boy carry ball, say he want throw, LA coach go they shout, blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus.
Man, that boy he was
throwing was
That one
was responsible for the equalizer against LA. It was responsible for the winning goal against Chicago. I want to say it was responsible for the equalizer against Chicago. It contributed to about 3 or 4 goals in that tournament. That throwing alone.
So you're telling teams going forward before the tournament. I think his name is Hamid or something.
Lamela.
Ahmed, before you play Dallas Eagles, make sure you give that guy injury, neutralize Ahmed. He's a center back dress. Neutralize him. Yeah, so that was a good showing from Ahmed. And your goalkeeper again, tournaments going forward, make sure you put him on a first-class ticket.
Yes,
put him on right team.
Is a DG member, was the free transfer before the transfer window closed.
From Chicago.
From Chicago. So he's a member now.
Okay, so going to that game, Indigo went home and they were serenaded with lashes of Kubuku for the Nyash. So let's go to the second colossal Battle of the Titans match. Chicago versus the champions, Calling Stars. The past and the present. Divided. The Old Testament met the New Testament. And it was time for judgment. What do you think?
Well, first of all, they met last year in Austin in the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
And Colin defeated Gazelle there. And I said it earlier that it seemed like Gazelle, you need to cut off their neck when you get chance, because if you let them stay, they will get to the final.
Yes.
Before the game, I told Kinetic, I said, handle your business on your side. Dallas will handle their business on their side, so we can have all Texas final. But a part of me was like, Gazelle is going to make this very tough to have an all Texas final.
Yeah.
But referee blew whistle to start that quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Before I feel even come down from step where the waka, George don't score 1-0. I think it was 30 seconds in when Calling Stars scored. So I say, okay, this game will probably end like 3 or 4. Then Calling Stars, they are really, they are really here to stay. All of a sudden, it was 1-0 for a while. It was 1-0 for a while, and then Gazelle gets a penalty. And then I was Honduras, Colombia, Nicaragua, wherever they got this goalkeeper from, we bring in Papa, the agents, the wife, and then 2 children come. He catch the penalty again.
Against Chicago?
Yes, now. He catch the penalty again. I say, and then they went.
Should not be this.
The guy catch penalty again. So at that point, you are thinking that, okay, everything don't align. Calling Stars, they go final. But Gazelle left it late again. After they did the same thing against LA, they come equalize last minute against Calling Stars, and they went to a penalty shootout. And goalkeeper, we don't catch 2 penalties before. What do you expect him to do in the penalty shootout?
Wow. He lived up. And what killed Chicago too, their goalkeeper got injured.
But the goalkeeper that came in for him was the goalkeeper who was in goal on Saturday. After the mistake against Dallas, they kind of made a little change. So he got his
I see.
He got his position back. But those penalties were clean, crisp. All the penalties they hang. There was no penalty where I look where they score where I say, okay, keeper supposed to catch that one. Or just they hang for air. Or they go sell keeper, go one way, put keeper for the other one. Experienced penalty kicks, by both teams. But that goalkeeper had to catch one. It was in his blood to catch one. So that's how Calling Stars were able to do it.
Going by what we say, the dominance of Chicago, there's a new wave coming in now. And the new wave is from Texas coming in, where it's no coincidence that 3 years, Texas teams have been playing Texas Challenge. And in 3 years, the 3 finals at NSFUSA, at least one Texas team has been there. And this year, the dominance, let's put this into perspective, out of 16 teams that came to the national, Texas brought 5. Out of those 5, 4 qualified to the quarterfinals, which shows an 80% qualification rate. So teams all over got to start looking things out. And I think, teams like Chicago and all the rest, they have to step their game up because they're about to be taken out of contest. Because look at it this way. In the past 2 years, since 2009, Calling Stars has won 2 titles. Chicago has won 4. With the rate at which they're going in the next 3 years, Calling Stars will equal Chicago Gazelles all-time.
And I think Gazelle's last win was in
2016.
2016.
So that's about 7 years
7
now.
years ago, yeah.
Chicago Gazelles is going to a decade. They haven't picked that trophy. So there's a new wave coming in. And now let's go to the finals. The finals, before you say anything, it was a good final. But in my opinion, by the time DG got into the finals, all the air was sucked out of the lungs. I saw Pogba. Pogba was looking like Kennedy Boboye.
Think about it. Dallas had played a tough elite team, tough Black Stars, tough Gazelle, very tough Atlanta, and an almost tough Indigo team on a depleted squad that got further depleted by 2 key injuries on Saturday. So they came into that final with 15 players, tired. But they weren't saying it out loud. To them, they were in the final. They're just listen. For the Dallas Golden Eagles, that was a historic moment in NSFUSA. They have been coming to the tournament now since its inception, bar 1 year, and they've never made it past the semi-final. Never. This was the first time in the history of the organization that they took that next step to the final. So the boys were already there, and they can taste it. So they, even though they were tired, they wanted to go for it. But I'll tell you what made them tired, even more tired in that final. One man in that midfield for Calling Stars, Rashid Olabi. I mentioned something earlier about the way Dallas plays, how they put pressure on you, they create turnovers, and blah, 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 blah. There's something about that boy, that man, when he controls the ball and gives himself an additional second with the ball. When you can't take the ball, when you collect ball from your leg and he's moving the ball around, and then you are not chasing, but the chase is not creating any turnovers anymore. All your tiredness will come the show. And the way Calling Stars just moved that ball around in the final, it brought the sweat out of Dallas. Dallas begins sweat. One of the Dallas midfielders, Kola, you can tell after about 10 minutes, the guy don't open mouth. They don't chase ball, tired. They don't see ball play. So Calling Stars, for me, I didn't want to talk about them earlier in this podcast because I was waiting to this final. They are the epitome of maturity, experience, and tournament savvy. To me, this tournament was very easy for them. A very easy tournament. When they faced adversity in the first game, all they had to do was put in a few players and they got a point out of it. The next game was
Boston.
A walkover. The next game was a walkover. So by the time they played Boston, they were well rested. They did what they had to do to Boston. So essentially, they didn't break a sweat between Friday and Saturday. They didn't really do anything. Sunday came around. To me, okay, they had a tough game against somewhat tough game against Invisible Eagles, but then they scored the first goal very early against Gazelle. So they were essentially, when I was watching their bench in the penalty shootouts against Gazelle, they were not apprehensive, still maybe they would lose. They were waiting for their keeper to make a save because they knew they were going to score their penalties. They were just waiting, like, make this guy save this thing now so that we end this thing. That's how they had the confidence in themselves. So they carried themselves with the aura of a champion, and when they got punched in the mouth by Indigo, they retaliated. So when they got to the final, they were fresh. They were fresh.
Fresh like a gege morning
They
bread.
were fresh. They were fresh. So they just, and then they played their game, and the DG's strategy could not work against them because they were moving the ball and they were
No
moving it.
shot on target for DG. No shot on target.
There was, not the talk. There was 2 shots on
Too
target.
short. Too short.
Calm
That
down.
one, my grandmother can save all those ones.
Is it on target or is it not on target?
That
Which
one
you
is
talk?
on fire. You count that one as shot
I
on
bet make I
target.
hear what there were 2 shots on 2 shots on target, Jerry. But I will give you, there was no clear-cut chance. There was no chance where you say, hey, Miss
You
Amu.
cannot have that chance. You had a casting in that team. That Cameroonian guy was like, he was a gentle giant. You had the Honduras center back, you had Abuka on the right, and you had
Abuka.
the left back. Oh man,
It was Abuka. Abuka, because a lot of the strength for Dallas too comes from the left.
Yeah.
We got no change.
He
out of
neutralized him. Even against Invisible, he neutralized Fabian. He just,
so it was a very masterful performance. To beat Colin Stars is going to take some game planning to do that, and they too have to come into the final a little bit beat up. They have to come into the final a little bit beat up, but they didn't. They had depth, and they used their depth throughout the tournament, and then they had the luck of a walkover game, and then the intensity of the games during the group stage. It was not so much, even in the quarters, and to an extent, maybe the semifinal, because they were up for so long. They didn't really need to chase the game. I mean, it was just a really easy tournament for them, and kudos to them because they made it easy. They made it easy.
That comes with experience. Comes with experience, and ladies and gentlemen, we can't say it again. We can't say that. A lot has been said. But congratulations to Colin Stars, Kinetic, Dadi Bazwaye, his Yano, Kasim, and our MVP 2 years in a row, Rashid Olabi, the maestro. If they win it the third time, maybe we are going to start giving our MVP title, rename it the Rashid Olabi MVP title.
And our NSFUSA, we've never, as far as NSFUSA is concerned, 14 years, there has never been a back-to-back champion.
Never. They broke that.
Never been a back-to-back champion.
They told us they were going to do it. And now Kinetic has put on his house 2024 time where it's going to, he says, place.
Yeah, save space for that trophy.
It's crazy. It's crazy, but teams got to buckle up. I know next year is going to be bigger, better. Even the over 40s are warming up. They're in spring training right now. Over 40s, we're going to talk about over 40s next time. But that tournament too was a success. LA against Invisible Eagles. LA had to go import players from Maryland, from New York, they even had to go bring players from Pluto. We're gonna challenge that result in court.
Which courts? Which courts?
We are going to petition tribunal to challenge their LA bets winning.
Okay.
But it's another day. It's another day. Again, thank you all for watching. It's a sign out for NSFUSA 2023. Congratulations again to Colin Stars. Charlie, you predicted Chicago was going to win. I predicted Colin Stars were going to win. And
I said Colin Stars or Gazelle, but then and Gazelle in the final, with Gazelle triumphing over Colin Stars because there has been no back-to-back champion. I didn't think that these guys were going to do it, but they did it. So congrats to them.
Going to next year, do you think, put your eyeballs on that, Colin Stars three-peat?
Next, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough.
That's what we said the first year.
Here's why.
The second year.
Here's why. I'm looking at you, NBA. If you watch this podcast, Yomi, Houston Green Eagles, get your house in order. Get your house in order. Your players came to Chicago and they came back with medals. Houston Green Eagles did not come to Chicago, and that's not a good thing. So get your house in order. So 2024 depends on the outcome of that statement I just made. If Green Eagles,
Ooh.
if Houston Green Eagles does not get their house in order and all the other Houston teams have to come and represent Texas, we shall see. But watch out for Dallas.
Well, you say NBA, as you said, NBA is currently recruiting for NBA players. He's not thinking about
So
So Houston Green Eagles, get
you
your
need to get
ass,
their, you need to get their
get your
house in
ass
order.
together, or else you're gonna
New
be.
York, get your house in order. I mean, you wanna qualify next year.
But New York,
Maryland,
no, New York. If New York come, they go to the finals. We know how it's gonna be. Second place, they
well,
are
I'm just
destined for
saying,
second place.
SGFC,
Yeah.
Stores, Delta, let's come together next year. Let's make the true best of the best NSF. All the strong guys, make we show, make we play ball.
Okay. Well, Charlie, you said it right. Let's show. Let's play ball. Thank you all, and have a very, very good day. Bye-bye.